Aftermath is directed by Elliot Lester and written by Javier Gulon, and it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Scoot McNairy, and Maggie Grace. This movie tells the tale of two men whose lives become connected after a devastating plane crash. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a construction worker and a husband and father, and Scoot McNairy plays a worker from the control tower at the airport and also a husband and father. And this movie tells how this plane crash affects both their lives in very similar but very different ways. I was intrigued by this movie as soon as I saw the trailers. I like these movies that have simple premises to it. And sometimes the problem with those movies is that they become much bigger than they need to. And this movie should be a very personal story, especially since it's about how two people are affected after such a devastating accident. And for the most part, Aftermath does it well. In fact, almost very well. You can see as you're watching this movie that there is a good script underneath all the other elements. This script was very well thought out. It had very good intentions. There are very good scenes of dialogue in this movie and very good scenes of you just watching characters soaking information in and just trying to process it all, and you see how they grieve or how they go through a depression at the moment because of such a devastating loss. Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie, I really like him. He was in a movie a few years ago called Maggie, and he was the father to Abigail Breslin, and he was really good in that. I don't think this performance is as good as that one, but he's still really good, and it's once again one of those movies that you can see that Arnold Schwarzenegger can act. I really like his character in this film. I like how subtle he is. But before you think I'm overreacting, he's subtle for what you expect Arnold Schwarzenegger to be. He's giving a much tamed performance than you're used to seeing from him, and we all know how over the top Schwarzenegger can be. There are many times that this guy seems not to be reacting at all, while on others you start thinking about those other previous times, and you can see how and why this character reacted in a such tamed way. I loved Scoot McNairy in this movie as well. I thought he was very good. I haven't seen a bad performance from this dude. I think he was overcooking it in Sleepless, but he was doing that on purpose. In here, he's again subtle, but this guy is true subtle. Once he finds out what happened to the planes, my god, this man just starts bawling and he is completely heartbroken, and you see how devastating this situation is to that man and how this tragedy truly affects his life, because you see a lot of his life at home with his wife and son, and you see that they have just a perfect fine life and relationship, and then in comes something to crash it all down and ruin it for him. Once you see Scoot McNairy's family in here, you fall in love with them. They are completely lovable and charming and endearing, and then you start to see this family break down because of what happened, and that is where the movie finds its hook. And I say that only in the second act of the film you find a hook to it, because if you've seen the trailers for this film, it has spoiled a little bit too much. I watched one trailer, and we'll talk about how that affected my viewings of the film in a bit. Aftermath is a simple premise, it's a simple movie. Just watch the movie if you want to watch it. The trailers spoil a little bit too much, and I felt that because you watch the trailers and then you start watching the movie. And the movie starts with the tale of Roman, who's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you see that he's a construction worker, and then you see that he's going to the airport to pick up his wife and daughter. Suddenly, the accident has already happened, and then the movie transfers to Jacob, who is Scoot McNairy's character, and then you see this guy going to work, and effectively you see what really happened. And I say that because I don't want to tell you what really happened. I want you to watch the movie, because this would have been a much more investing worthy film if I hadn't seen the trailers. I knew a little too much that I would have liked to. As I said, in the second act is when this movie finds its hook, and it finds it because it analyzes how these two men in such a similar but at the same time very different situation, how they handled this tragedy, and you start to see that they both need help, again in different ways for the same kind of situation. They are both feeling depressed, their lives feel like they're ruined, they don't know what to do with their lives. And while there are portions of the movie in the second act that analyze this, and when they do analyze it, they analyze it very well, I would have liked a little more. I would have liked a little more of scenes like that. This movie is 90 minutes long. I would have stretched the time limit to maybe 1 hour 45, maybe 1 hour 50. tops. Because the movie is slow-paced, as it should, but because it is only 90 minutes long, you then get very little scenes that actually analyze how these characters are going through this stuff. I'm not going to spoil anything, but as we get to the third act, I really like what they did. I really enjoyed seeing how different Schwarzenegger's character was from many other characters in films in a situation like this. I like his purpose, his motivation, I like what he wants to achieve in this film. And I like how we see Scoot McNairy trying to move on with his life, because we see something happening with his character and you see that he's trying to move on, but it's not easy, and that's it. We see that he's trying as much as he can, and again, his family is completely endearing, and these are some of the best scenes in the film. But as the movie starts to conclude, it kind of goes the cliched route, and while it tries to fight those cliches, you can see where the movie is going for the last 20 minutes. There is one beautiful shot nearing the ending of the film that I thought it was very well done, but as far as realism goes to it, it's a very silly shot. The cinematography looks great, there is good music, subtle music that doesn't overtake the scenes in this film, and I think the actors all around do a good job. The characters, for the most part, are well realized. I think I would have liked to see scenes with Schwarzenegger's family before the accident happens. I think there is a good script in here, and this script, in any other hands, as far as a writer or director is concerned, this would maybe one day be a movie that wins an Oscar if it hadn't already been done, which it is. Good acting, good writing, a solid story, a bit of cliche narrative, and fine directing that doesn't stand out. And because of that, I will say that Aftermath is a movie that whether you watch it or not, your heart will go on. What did you think of Aftermath, my beautiful geekies? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Do you like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Scoot McNairy? Let me know your favorite movies for both these actors, and also don't forget to go check the description below and go join the beautiful Geeky Community Facebook group. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Until tomorrow with another review, you stay beautiful and you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!